I'm Michaela Mazzoni, an award-winning nutritional therapist with endometriosis, PCOS, and I have recovered from fibromyalgia. Today I'm going to be talking about castor oil packs, and we're going to go through what a castor oil pack is, how to make one, why you would use them, how they work, and most importantly, who shouldn't be using them. So castor oil packs are something that have been around for a really, really long time, talking hundreds of years, but it's not something we really understood how it's potentially supporting the body until more recently. So how do castor oil packs work? Castor oil packs work by supporting the castor oil getting further through the skin with the application of heat, and it then supports something called your lymphatic system. So your lymphatic system is kind of like your waste removal system, and what it does is it goes all around your body and it picks up your toxins and your waste and it sends them over to the liver to be detoxed. This is really helpful if you're working on your hormone health, because your liver is so much involved in managing through your hormones, working through your toxins, if you're someone who needs maybe a bit of extra support with detoxification in a very gentle way. And this is also really, really helpful with localized pain relief. So I have used these so much after I had my surgery for my stage 4 endometriosis. I had excision surgery, and I found it to be very, very helpful in this area. Once I was through past the area where I couldn't use them safely after the surgery, to really try and support the pain that I had in my pelvis after the operation, which was great because I'd taken so much pain medication, which definitely had its place, but I wanted to start trying to move more back towards more natural solutions. The other way that castor oil helps is by supporting something called lymphocytes. So lymphocytes are a really important part of your immune system, and by using castor oil packs, it potentially help with stimulating that side of things. The other thing it can be very, very gentle and helpful for is constipation or IBS, especially if you're someone who has a lot of pelvic pain after and before, during bowel movements. Castor oil packs can be really lovely to use for that reason as well. They also support stress or de-stressing, which is so crucial for so many different parts of your health. I would say every part of your health is affected by stress. I have other talks on nutrition and stress, and you can kind of understand how when you're in fight or flight, it affects things like your digestive system and your energy and your immune system, and I'll put a link for that below if you want to watch it. So how to make a castor oil pack? Essentially, a castor oil pack is something that is super easy to make. It's not very expensive, and the great thing about one castor oil pack is it can be reused 30 to 40 times. So it's a really nice sustainable way to support your health, and it's something that once you have your supplies, you don't very often need to repurchase the products. So what you're going to need, I use specific fabric that's been made for castor oil packs, packing fabric. You could use a flannel that you have at home to remove your makeup. It's ideal that you use organic and unbleached cotton. The reason being that, when you put something on your skin, it's absorbed in less than 30 seconds into your general circulation. And if we have something that's going to be there for quite a long period of time, we really want to try and get on, the least amount of chemicals, the better. So this is how it comes if you get it from this company that I use. So this is one piece of it, but this was the other side of it. So this is part of a castor oil pack. Here's one I prepared earlier, sort of thing. So you can see it's quite a bit of cotton. And this one is a little bit skinnier than the other piece that I've got here. The reason being that it's to go just across this, not a very large area across the lower abdomen. However, a larger piece like this is helpful if you're maybe working on the liver side of things. So what you do is you get your cotton and you cut it to size. So I had already cut mine down into this size here. So you can see it's a bit oily because it's one that I have made previously and from previous takes of this video. Okay, so once you have your fabric ready, you get your castor oil. You don't need to worry about holding back on how much you use, because like I said, these are reusable, and each time you just top up a little bit more. So you would put on really a very generous amount of castor oil here. If you're going to be using an essential oil, which is not essential to making a castor oil pack, but is a nice addition, then depending on the area that you're working on, you can use specific oils, and then you can just add that on to the castor oil pack and then you blend that in. So I'll go through a few with you. If you're working on stress, myrrh, which is being studied around cortisol levels, and lavender is quite helpful at supporting stress. Lavender is also quite nice if you're someone who's finding that your digestive system or your digestive symptoms and your hormone symptoms are worse when you're stressed. Frankincense is really lovely for pain support due to the active ingredient called Boswellia, which has been studied around pain management. More specific to hormones, rose oil and clary sage are something that I will often recommend if we're working on PCOS, difficult periods, painful menstruation, difficult PMS, perimenopause, postmenopause, those kind of areas. So I'll just put in frankincense because it's a nice sort of general support here. So I suppose you could blend this separately with the castor oil in a bowl and move it over, but I just sort of do it like this. So you just spread it all over, so it'll be really drenched through, and you can just add more if you need to, but it should be drenched to the point that when you pick it up, you can see it through on the other side of the fabric. When you do your castor oil pack, please learn from me. Last night, I did one of these after work, and for some reason, I didn't get changed out of my work clothes, and I ended up staining one of my favorite dresses, and I'm in the process of trying to get it back to its pre-stained state. So make sure that when you do this, you're wearing something that you don't mind if you get it messy. You're going to be lying down in bed or on the couch for about 45 minutes to an hour, maybe a little bit more. So, something that's really comfortable, cotton pajamas, things like that. Once you've got this ready, you'll then get yourself into bed. I'm not going to do it here because I'm not going to ruin another dress. And you would apply this directly onto the area that you're working on. So as I said, it could be sort of, I'll use this as an example, kind of in this area, across the area where you feel you get your period cramps, or if you're working on your liver, it's on the right hand side underneath where your ribs sort of end. That's where the liver is. You then apply heat on top of it. So I use a hot water bottle, and don't let it boil when you're using the kettle all the way up to boiling point, because you don't want to have scalding. But the other reason why I like using cotton fabric like this instead of a flannel is because you can fold it over several times, and it puts a little bit of a buffer in between you and the hot water bottle. If it is feeling too hot and you feel uncomfortable, you can always add extra layers of cotton or add like another flannel on top of it. And as the hot water bottle starts to cool, you can remove some of those. So you have it on top like this, like that, okay? Directly there, and you just lie there and relax and enjoy yourself for 30 minutes to an hour. When I do it, I usually go for about 45 minutes to an hour myself, but it depends from person to person. So you do this about 3 or 4 times per week. And we need to talk about safety around castor oil packs. So who shouldn't be using these, or who should proceed with caution? Everyone, before you do your first castor oil pack, it's an idea to do a check on your skin. So you can do a little bit of oil on your skin 24 hours before your first pack, and allow yourself time to observe if you're going to have a reaction, to make sure that there's not, it's better to see it in a little area than across the whole big part of your body. And if you have your period, you should not use a castor oil pack during that time. Now, you may really want to because you find it's very helpful with cramps and with pain. However, due to how it affects things like circulation, it can make periods last longer, they can be heavier. So we really want to just contain that to before a period. And once you finish your period, you can start up again. If you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, you should not be using a castor oil pack. Equally, if you're trying to get pregnant, in between you're in your luteal phase, which is the time between ovulation and your next period, you should not be using a castor oil pack. Once you have confirmed ovulation, that time in between then and knowing if you're pregnant or not, you shouldn't really be using it. If you do really struggle with pain and you have confirmed on a pregnancy test, or early pregnancy test, that you're not, depending on how close you are into the cycle, some of these tests are very accurate. If you know that you're not pregnant and your period is due in a couple of days, and it might be okay to use that, but you should proceed with caution. If you're taking medications, if you have a medical condition, you should speak with your doctor or healthcare practitioner beforehand. And if you are taking medications as well, you should check with them also. If you've had surgery recently, you need to wait until you're into more of a safe area with that safe zone. I didn't start using these after surgery until I was about 12 weeks out. So my scars from my incision surgeries, the 3 areas, were all completely healed, and I felt confident to use it at that point. Please let me know in the comments if you try this. Do subscribe for more videos like this in the future. I would love to know if you got on with these and if you find them to be helpful. Keep an eye on my website. I have lots of free resources on there, recipes, advice, and events coming up as well. And just lastly, how to store your castor oil pack. So once you're finished, it's very messy, so you don't want to sort of have it lying around the house. You can just fold it up and you can keep it in a glass jar to sort of keep it safe and keep it clean. Some of these companies, like this one, have got a, you can reseal the container that it comes in, so you could just pop it in there and then keep it in the fridge in between uses. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you.